All right. So I've added a feature here. Our brother Eugene Uwani highly recommends this series of
You're on now.
Chapter 22. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto
and to his sons, that they separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Israel, and that they profane not my holy name. And
so we won't have that nice professional voice read it for us, but you can. I'm thinking about getting these out a little bit sooner in the week, so that if you wanted to, you could review what's coming. Then we can hit things a little more in depth where we want to go.
You want it?
All right, so I'll go ahead and start. Then Eugene, Kyle, Eric, and Rocky. So as reader number 2, I will say, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, when a bullock or a sheep or a goat is brought forth, then it shall be 7 days under the dam, and I didn't know what that was, but with its mother, and from the 8th day and thenceforth it shall be accepted for an offering made by fire unto the Lord. So, well, 8th day then is the minimum age, and it cannot be of any age after 8. Now, that's the question, and I think it answers itself in a minute. And whether it be cow or ewe, ye shall not kill it, or her young, both in 1 day. And when you will offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving unto the Lord, offer it at your own will. On the same day it shall be eaten up. You shall leave none of it until the morrow. I am the Lord. Now, Eugene correctly pointed out we can't have any more lamb, but that was on the 2nd day. Now it's interesting, in this case it's 1 day. It's now. You got to eat it today when you offer it. There's a difference. And on the 6th day it shall be eaten up. Number 31, therefore shall ye keep my commandments and do them. I am the Lord. Neither, so it'd be like speed limit is 25 except where posted. So the rule is eat it the self same day unless posted. Then you got a longer life. Therefore shall ye keep my commandments and do them. I am the Lord. Neither shall ye profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed among the children of Israel. I am the Lord which hallow you, that brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord. So if you're gonna, I take from that, if you're gonna do anything, be hallowed toward the Lord. Don't profane his name. Eugene, you're next.
Mm-hmm. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feasts of Yahovah, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is a Shabbat of rest, a holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of Yahovah in all your dwellings.
So is the 7th day a feast? Is it a feast, or is it a day you should fast?
It's a feast, he says.
Yeah.
You're fasting from the world, but it's a feast unto Yahovah. He says so right here.
I love it. So don't be fasting on Sabbath.
Hey, the Lord is a party animal. He gave us one party every week, 2 week-long parties, and then 3 other parties along the way.
Well, every new moon is a convocation.
And that too.
Yeah, you got one every month. There's a bunch of them.
So Yahweh is a party animal. And, he says, whatever your soul desireth, that's a feast.
Kyle, you're up.
Okay. These are the feast. Let's see, are we in 4?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. These are the feasts of Yahovah, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahovah's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yahovah. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Jehovah 7 days. In the seventh day is an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
Yep.
Amen.
Looks like the kosher dad is next.
And the Lord spake, oh geez, you're punishing me with King James again, aren't you? Spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be come into the land which I gave unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. And he shall wave the sheaf before the Lord, to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. And ye shall offer that day when ye wave the sheaf, and he lamb, that must be a typo.
No,
And,
No, that's the King James torture.
a ram.
A lamb.
and
a
he
ram.
lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto the Lord. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto the Lord for sweet savor. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the fourth part of an hin. And ye shall eat.
A hen is 5 quarts, by the way. So a fourth part would be a little more than a quart.
And ye shall eat neither bread nor parched corn nor green ears until the self same day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. I have a question on this, actually. So this is the one, like, first fruits gets used in multiple different contexts. This one says forever. And so it's a forever one, right? And then you've also got that this is to be done when they come, like when they get, it's like the first fruits when they first get into the land.
Right.
But it's got the forever piece. And so I'm curious what the others in the group here are doing in order to honor the forever piece of this.
Forever first fruits. Yeah.
Yeah, so what are you doing to celebrate? Because this is during the Feast of Unleavened Bread, if I'm beginning to understand it correctly.
Right. And you
And
have,
so it says, where was it? Let's see, come into land, harvest, bring sheep, bring to the priest, they wave it. So when? So I guess when are you doing this, and what are you doing to honor it?
Yeah.
Well, it's when they first come into the land, but it's also the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So you continually do it as part of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And a lot of people, in fact, Jonathan and I had an hour's conversation over this evening. But it has to do with the 3 days of Yeshua, and then the first fruits when he arose on Shabbat and the first day of the week.
Yeah.
And he said, touch me not. And yet he went to his father, and then everybody came out of their graves and says, hey, we were dead, folks. Now we're risen. So, and this is what we were going over, is when to start the count for the 7 weeks. And the what it says, the day ye shall offer it is a key. And then the self same day ye brought the offering unto your God, it shall be a statute. So everybody wonders about, okay, you give the offering, he waves it on the first day of the week, and then traditionally people have started counting the next Shabbat to go to Shavuot
as number 1.
But here he is saying, when you make the offering, which is before Shabbat, then you shall offer it 7 days. And then the 7th day you shall bring the first fruits of the 7 days. And then the 7th day you shall offer the you give it to the priest, but he doesn't make the wave offerings for you until the day after Shabbat. And then you count. But if you take the Savior and the crucifixion, he offered himself the day before the Shabbat. Then he was crucified and they buried him. And then he was the Shabbat, the preparation day, the next Shabbat, and then he arose after 3 days as the first fruit. So then he counted the Shabbat that he rose from, because it stipulates on the day you make the offering. He made his offering before he was sacrificed. And so you count that, and that shall be the counting of the 7 weeks from that, if you take the actual sacrifice at Passover into account and you tie it to these words. If it didn't say on that self same day and on the day you give it to the priest, it would mean what everybody's traditionally done. But because those are in there, you count from the original day you offered it to the priest, and then it's not offered until after the resurrection, the 3 days when he arose from the dead. But you count that first one because he offered, he sacrificed, and he came forth on that Shabbat.
All right, wait, can I interrupt you for a second, Eugene?
No.
Let me ask my question a little bit more specifically. Are you going to do this after the Sabbath, which is the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread? Or are you going to do this after the weekly Sabbath that occurs during the Feast of Unleavened Bread?
The first one.
So you're gonna count first fruits as basically the second day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Basically, that's the day he arose. At
Okay.
the end of that day, at sundown.
Okay, so then second question, today, like now, in the times that we find ourselves in now, what are you going to do on that second day in order to honor this?
In other words, you're not, you don't have a priest to give a wave offering to?
I
Yeah,
have
so-
I have an Jennifer's on the phone since she can't get into the meeting, and she says that she takes her first week's paycheck from the year and does something good with it.
Yeah, he
Gives it to some kind of cause or something that in her heart. So that's her offering.
Okay, that's interesting. Keep this going. We got Jenny Webster with comment, and I wanted to just make one clarification, and that is that Omer, counting the Omer is counting the sheaves, and so Omer is a sheaf, and so if Yeshua is that first sheaf of the harvest of the resurrection, then that does make sense. And so when his 3 days was up, then he did have that offering. So Jenny, go ahead and give your comment.
Yeah, I believe that the counting of the Omer, and also when Yeshua offered the first fruits, which were those people who rose from the dead when he arose, and he went up Sunday morning to the Father, and then he came back down. And I believe it's the morrow after the weekly Sabbath, because if it was a high Sabbath, it would be Shabbaton. It would be a different word than the weekly Sabbath. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, and that's
completely different.
why he went up the first day after the weekly Sabbath is when
Mhm.
he offered himself as first fruits and those that he brought with him. And so this is the shadow picture of that actual crucifixion and resurrection with the 3 days in between. And that's why you give it to the priest before, but then it's the first day after the Sabbath, the weekly
Mhm.
Sabbath. And you count that weekly Sabbath but the offering is not made till the day after because it's a shadow picture of the actual crucifixion and resurrection.
It's Yeshua's completion of that law that clarifies it.
Yeah.
So there'll be controversy everywhere, but where Yeshua is exemplar.
Okay,
So let's.
So cool.
Go
So
ahead,
this
bud.
will always be, so you're suggesting it's always on a Sunday, the Sunday after the weekly Sabbath that occurs during the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
So give your offering on that Saturday. Yeah.
Copy. And then we heard one person say that they're giving up a whole paycheck. Yay for that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
What is anybody else doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a pretty good explanation for modern times, but I don't know. What is anybody else doing?
Well, I'll raise my hand. One thing I do is I throw out all leaven, like yeast, I throw away, and any bread, throw it away. I don't have it. I don't eat any leavened bread
Right, that's the
that
Hamas,
whole week.
and you're supposed to be doing that all the month of Aviv. Yeah. So okay,
But it's a wave offering. It's something that you've worked for. Now they were agrarian, so they gave their barley or their wheat. The barley was the one on the first, and so we would give something that we earn, that we do for a living.
and in that case, it's got to be a perfect offering. It's got to be the best you can do. Okay, well, we'll move on from here. I think these clarifications are good, and let's go on. So I
don't
have.
know why Jennifer Howell can't get in.
Yeah, I don't know why Jennifer Howell can't get in either, but that's okay. So Brother Kyle, you haven't read through, or you did? You read?
Yeah, I can read again.
No, well, no. Let's
It's
go
Rocky's
to now. Of course, your dad, he hasn't read yet.
Oh, yes,
No, he
did.
just read.
Yeah, he read.
I just read.
Oh
I asked
yeah,
my question
and
on
it's
the one that I read.
Rocky, you're up.
Who's running this outfit anyway?
Anyway, yeah, Rocky, you're up.
Okay, and you shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall you number 50 days, and you shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord. You shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2 tenths deals, and they shall be of fine flour, and they shall be bacon. No bacon, leaven. They are the first fruits unto the Lord. And ye shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, and 1 young bullock, and 2 rams. And they shall be for a burnt offering unto the Lord, and their meat offering and their drink offerings, even an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto the Lord. Then ye shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and 2 lambs of the first year for a sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before the Lord, with the 2 lambs. And they shall be holy to the Lord for the priest. And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may be a holy convocation unto you. You shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute for you in all your dwellings throughout your generations. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, then shall not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field when thou reapest. Neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest, that shall leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am the Lord your God.
The reason that I enlarged those words, was because my friend Eric highlights things that are forever in your generations. And one of the things that I wondered about is, do we have a statute that offers a sin offering forever in our generations? And no sooner had I thought the question that this came up. So we have the proscription for what the feast is in Shavuot, and it includes a sin offering. So a lot of people, a lot of Christians will say there's no sin offering anymore because of Yeshua's sin offering. Go ahead, Eric.
Mine was just a technical question, since I've got people who can translate Hebrew. I've got both your poke in the eye King James version up, as well as the New King James. And so in verse 16 in the King James, it says, ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord. I look over to my left and it says, you shall offer a new grain offering to the Lord.
Correct.
Two like diametrically opposed concepts there, translated from presumably the same word.
Yeah, the Hebrew absolutely says grain. So
King James uses meat for all kinds of food.
The King James translated the flour offering as a meat offering.
So there's an
Yet
indictment.
Jonathan continues to beat us up with it because of his upbringing, I tell you.
I know. Hey, Kurt, welcome.
When you Hanyaks want to give me the authorized translation, I'll put it up. So let me know which one. But it's fun because we can look up the differences and have fun with it.
King James does use meat quite often for just about any kind of food.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, what is meat anyway? It's not chicken, it's not cow, it's meat. Meat for my table. He doesn't mean flesh, right? He could mean anything. Yeah, good point. All right, touche for Rocky. Roque. Now we have
Kurt and Jenny hasn't read.
Kurt the flirt with us. He's fresh from Israel. Now don't get him started, because he has seen the red heifer. He has seen Yehuda Glick. He is the man. We're going to have him talk here in a few minutes. So hold your fire, Kurt. We can't wait to hear, and we'll muscle through this fast. But you've got to read for us if you don't mind. Now wait a minute. It's you. No, you already did. We got Jenny and Kurt next. But nobody said, oh no, there's no sin offering. That's not well, that is controversial, but it does say to do it forever in your generation. So reconcile that. Go ahead, Kurt. Read. You're the next reader, starting in 23.
Okay, let me move my video screen over so I can. So right here, 23.
Yep.
It says, and the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, ye shall have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation. Ye shall do no service work therein, but ye shall offer. Oh,
did he freeze? Yeah, he went off. Okay. You shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. No controversy there. Jenny, you're next. Jenny Webster, the great translator herself.
You got to unmute though, Jenny.
Jenny, come in, Jenny.
Okay, so if you share the screen, because I was looking for it in the document.
26, right on
26.
top.
Oh,
Reader 8.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's a different document that Jonathan sent in the email.
Okay,
Yeah.
are you sharing it, or can you
yes.
share it? Okay, that would be easier.
Yes, I am.
Because I see Leviticus 23 in there.
That's what you want, 23, 26.
Okay, but you're not sharing it because it had via the Ber Yehovah El Moshe Lemor, but that's okay. Let me see if I could find it in the one you sent me. Hold on. 26. And
go ahead.
Well, that's from Leviticus 16. Whoops. Okay, hold on a minute. I'm finding it.
You want us to come back to you?
Yeah, because I I know you're in 23. I just
We'll have Al Hanio read for us.
okay, but that'd be good. Thanks. Sorry, I just
No problem.
When
And
does
y'all
Yonani? When does Yonani go?
Al Hanio is better for some purposes, but let's go.
You see, he switches between my real Indian name, my Spanish derivative of my name, and the English. He likes to say Eugenio because then he can go ow. Anyway, and Jehovah spake unto Moshe, saying, also on the 10th day of this 7th month there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be a holy convocation unto you, and you shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto Jehovah. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before Jehovah your Elohim. For whosoever soul it shall not be afflicted in the same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whosoever soul it be that does any work in that same day, that same soul will I destroy from among his people. Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be unto you a Shabbat of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the month at even. From even unto even shall ye celebrate your Shabbat.
Now there's where you're fasting on a Shabbat. So no fasting on Shabbat unless otherwise posted. That should be the sign. All right, so there's one exception. All right, how are you doing, Jenny Webster? Are you able to read?
yeah. If I have my own version here, because which verses? Because I'm going to read the RSV because that's where I have on my
33
phone.
to 44 of Leviticus 23.
All right, 33 to
44.
44. Okay, all right. And I'm sorry if this is a different version than what you're used to. Okay.
No problem.
Jehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the people of Israel, saying, on the 15th day of this 7th month, and the lasting 7 days, there shall be festival of booths to Jehovah. The first day shall be a holy convocation. You shall not work at your occupations. 7 days you shall present Jehovah's offerings by fire. On the 8th day, you shall observe a holy convocation and present Jehovah's offerings by fire. It is a solemn assembly. You shall not work at your occupations. These are the appointed festivals of Jehovah, which you shall celebrate as times of holy convocation, for presenting to Jehovah offerings by fire, burnt offerings and grain offerings, sacrifices and drink offerings, each on its proper day. That's 37. Apart from the set.
She's all right driving.
Oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just Rocky talking.
Okay. All right. Apart from the Sabbaths of Jehovah, and apart from your gifts, and apart from all your votive offerings, and apart from all your free will offerings, which you give to Jehovah. Now, the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the produce of the land, you shall keep the festival of Jehovah, lasting 7 days, a complete rest on the first day, and a complete rest on the 8th day. On the first day, you shall take the fruit of majestic trees, branches of palm trees, boughs of leafy trees, and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before Jehovah your God for 7 days. You shall keep it as a festival to Jehovah 7 days in the year. You shall keep it in the 7th month as a statute forever throughout your generations. You shall live in booths for 7 days. All that are citizens in Israel shall live in booths, so that your generations may know that I made the people of Israel live in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am Jehovah, your God. Thus, Moshe declared to the people of Israel the appointed festivals of Jehovah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Nice. So if we're not in Israel, Jenny, We don't have to do this, right?
It's a good question.
So I just wonder, what do you think on this? Why does it say Israelite, nation of Israel, whatever you read?
All right.
Citizens in Israel. Citizens in Israel. It's right there.
All right. That's what it looks like.
Mhm. Now the actual word is what? Let's see. Ba Yisrael.
So you don't have an Israeli
Ooh,
passport. You can't.
Okay, so if you're in Israel,
You gotta have an Israeli passport.
Let me
So
look at
clearly what Jonathan is saying, when they were doing it in the wilderness before
Anyway,
they went
I
into
can't hear you
Israel,
right
they
this
were
minute.
wrong, flat wrong.
Okay, go repeat.
His speaker went off.
Oh, sorry, I was just saying, so what Jonathan is of course saying is, well, they were wandering around in the wilderness for 40 years keeping these things. They were wrong, flat wrong. They shouldn't have been doing that. They should have waited until they got into the land.
I mean, it's
I always
obvious.
I get your
I always
point.
thought the Hebrews are crazy wandering around for 40 years. It only took me 50.
Well, I've considered Sukkot tabernacles to be a fire drill exercise for us coming up.
Yeah,
Amen.
but verse 42,
Yeah, what about it?
if you're an Israelite, now it doesn't say born because Israelites are adopted.
Mhm.
Okay,
All
shall dwell
citizens.
in booths.
Right,
So there you go.
right. So the not citizen of Israel, the state, the corrupt state, but the Israelite, those that are of Israel, the Ba Yisrael, does not mean of the state. And then also, my point about this being a fire drill for the future, does anyone disagree with that idea?
If you don't have a passport, you cannot celebrate.
Passport is of a nation not recognized by Yehovah. You're kind of SOL, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Jonathan, the next reader to keep this moving, unless anybody had a salient point, I'm going to
Yep.
read Zechariah 14, except I'm going to probably just do a few verses and
Yonatani.
hand it off to Kyle. So I didn't break this up. But here we go. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. That's an interesting thing. So then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. Now our much vaunted translator Matthew Chamberlain found that interesting clarification in Revelation. I hope you all caught that, because we want Armageddon to be up north in Megiddo. No, it's right there in Yerushalayim. And so Kyle Gad and a residue is going to be safe. Now the Jews are very adamant about where they're going when the shooting starts, and that is Jerusalem. So I don't blame them. Go ahead, Kyle. You're from.
Well, if I can.
Oh, well, okay.
Verse 1. Behold, the day come, thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. Okay, you're going to get a prophecy here. That oil field that they're negotiating with right now with Syria, this is the spoil that's going to make the whole world come to fight. This is the spoil that they're making contracts with Europe right now, because Europe is suffering at the hands of Russia cutting off their oil. And now when everything goes in the toilet in the future over this deal, they're going to say, well, they're not Russia. We can go in and stomp their tail. And that's when this is going to take place, and it's not too far off in the future.
And that's when the Lord brings hooks in their mouths. Come on, let's fight.
It will be over this big oil field that is in the Mediterranean that they're negotiating with Syria with right now. This is the spoil that the world is going to be coming after.
It's not in Megiddo. Our translator found it's in Jerusalem. All right, we have Kyle Gad. I'm going to read down to verse 11, from 4 to 11.
Okay. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west. And there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall be removed toward the north, and half of it toward the south. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal. Yea, ye shall flee like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah king of Judah. And Jehovah my God shall come, and all the saints with thee. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to Jehovah, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. And it shall be in that day that living water shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and in winter shall it be. And Jehovah shall be king over all the earth. In that day there shall be one Lord, and his name one. All the land shall be, is that Lord? That's Jehovah. Yep.
Let's see, I don't have it.
Yeah,
over
looking
here.
at the Hebrew there, I see it right there at the end.
There, Jehovah.
All the land.
Yehovah.
Yehovah, Yehovah, Yehovah.
Okay. All the land shall be turned as a plain from Geba to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem, and it shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place from Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate, unto the corner gate, and from the tower of Hananeel unto the king's wine presses. And men shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited.
Nice. What an interesting thing, because I always thought, because Armageddon was north, Jerusalem was a very bad place to be. But if Jehovah's bringing them with hooks in their mouths, egging them on, you'd want to be right there.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. Why not?
Because a quarter of the city is going to be taken prisoners and given to them. And I wouldn't mind being in that group that's saved, but I wouldn't. Yeshua in Matthew 24 said, when you see this happening in compass of armies, get out to the mountains. I would rather be obedient to Yeshua than be in that good saved.
Okay. Anybody else got a better answer than Eugene? See, he's always got the best answers.
Not always.
I second that thought.
Huh? You second that? Okay, thank you. But it's nice to know that a residue does get saved.
Welcome back, Kurt.
Yep. Welcome back, Kurt.
Yeah, I lost my battery failed in my laptop, so I'm running without it.
All right. So since you are the next reader by default, I'd like you to
I'm
read.
okay to pass if that's all right with you guys.
Now we're going to Kosher Dad, 12 to 15, please.
And you don't have to suffer with the King James if you want to.
Oh,
There's already a precedent been set. I'm all over it. I did want to point out, it says there in verse 6 that there will be no light, the lights will diminish. There's a second witness to that. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it says, where do I have that note? I have a note on it somewhere where that the moon will not give its light when the day of the Lord happens. So there's another place where it says the moon won't give its light. So there you go. And my verses were, what'd you say, 12 through what?
12 to 15.
Copy. Verse 12, and this shall be the plague with which the Lord will strike all the people who fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall dissolve while they stand on their feet. Their eyes shall dissolve in their sockets, and their tongue shall dissolve in their mouths. That sounds pleasant. It shall come to pass in that day that a great panic from the Lord will be among them. Everyone will seize the hand of his neighbor and raise his hand against his neighbor's hand. Judah will fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the surrounding nations shall be gathered together, gold, silver, and apparel in great abundance. Such also shall be the plague on the horse and the mule, on the camel and the donkey, and on all the cattle that will be in those camps. So shall this plague be.
Thank you. So is that, the tongue dissolving and all that? Is that just a nuclear blast or what is it?
Worse than that.
Who knows? They did try, Hollywood tried to capture that in Indiana Jones.
Correct. When Yeshua comes, it says he shall come as an all-consuming fire. In Malachi, it says that those that are caught up to meet him, all their enemies shall become ashes under their feet. Hebrews says when he comes, we shall be like him. And so he's coming as an all-consuming fire. And just imagine the sun itself coming and parking on the planet's surface. But it's not going to be the sun, it's going to be Yeshua. And I want to be among those that are changed and like him when he comes. So everything's ashes under my feet instead of having that happen to me.
Yeah, the other thing is a lot of people liken that to a nuke, but remember, this is the second coming. So now this is a supernatural type thing. This is not a man-made nuclear war kind of thing. This is probably a whole other level.
We will have the nuclear war. That's Zechariah 5, Isaiah chapter 3. But this is going to be worse than that. A nuclear war, people can survive. They'll be sick, they'll be hurting, but they can survive. This, nothing will survive except those who've had the change.
Interesting. All right, so we have Rocky can't be there. We got Jenny Webster for 16 to the end. Jenny Webster.
Okay.
Chapter
So I'm at
14, Zechariah.
14 of what?
It's chapter 14 of Zechariah.
16 to 21.
Okay, hold on. Let me find it. Prophecy, Zechariah. I'm on my. Okay, Zechariah 14, 16 to 21.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Then all who survive of the nations that have come against Jerusalem shall go up year after year to worship the King, Jehovah Tzevaot, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the festival of booths. If any of the families of the earth do not go up to Jerusalem to worship the King, Jehovah Tzevaot, there will be no rain upon them. And if the family of Egypt do not go up and present themselves, then on them shall come the plague that Jehovah inflicts on the nations that do not go up to keep the festival of booths. Such shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all the nations that do not go up to keep the festival of booths. On that day, there shall be inscribed on the bells of the horses, Holy to Jehovah. And the cooking pots in the house of Jehovah shall be as holy as the bowls in the front of the altar. And every cooking pot in Jerusalem and Judah shall be sacred to Jehovah Tzevaot, so that all who sacrifice may come and use them to boil the flesh of the sacrifice. And there shall no longer be traitors in the house of Jehovah Tzevaot on that day. Looks like they're going to be sacrificing again.
Oh, yes. He said that's an eternal statute until heaven and earth pass away. And everybody wants to say it's done away, but that's one of the reasons he's going to clean house and burn everything, kick tails and take names. And then he's going to reinstitute the laws that he said should be kept forever, all your generations. But what's interesting, there'll be no more Canaanite in the house of the Lord. All the rabbinical Jews that are Ashkenazi and perverting and not doing it, they're going to be burned and destroyed, and only the pure Judah. Okay, we got a hand up.
And that's a good way to, the residue versus those that are ash in Jerusalem. Go ahead, Eric.
I was just in the scripture study that I was doing earlier on Zoom today. We were talking about when to do the feasts. Since we just finished up with one cycle, so it's a good idea to plan ahead for the next. And I was making the point there are obviously a lot of different competing theories about when to do it. Lots of confusion. Of course, he tells us, well, none of us will know the day or the hour, so potentially that's why there's so much confusion, and so on and so forth. But you got you got what Judaism says, you got the full moon, you got the new moon, or the conjuncture moon, you got the sliver moon, you got all these competing different ways to calculate when. And so I was making the point to the brothers that I was with earlier this evening via Zoom that to me, because of all that confusion, the most important part, especially for the ones where we're commanded to gather, is to in fact gather. And of course, you got to agree on a date. So I said, he who hosts the party gets to pick the date. And then what we see here is Christ is going to host the party, and then we can stop arguing about the date. So my new thing in the meantime is he who hosts the party gets to pick the date. So if you're going to host it, you ultimately have to pick a date, and then that's whoever wants to be there gets to join you when you picked it.
I love it. Now, with that, we're at about an hour, So I want to propose that Kurt Wolf Sutton, that's his name, Kurt Wolf Sutton, give us a report of his travel to Israel. So,
Well, I was there for 2 weeks, and I turned on my tracking device on my phone, and I tracked every step that we did. We went from the very top of Israel to Mount Hermon and hiked up to 6,600 feet, all the way down below the Dead Sea. We had an archaeologist as a tour guide. His name is Yariv. He was a major in the Israel Defense Force, and we got to go places where no tour guides are. And I went to the Western Bank, and we wandered around there, and they liked our money. Otherwise, we couldn't get in. I don't know what to tell you. All I can tell you is the Bible's real. I was an armchair scholar for many, many years, as well as an armchair archaeologist. And I saw things that I think many men have never seen. And we got on a boat about the size of maybe the boat that Yeshua and the disciples used, and went out in the Sea of Galilee, and had special prayer and song and dance inside the boat. And I just kept visualizing that Yeshua was there teaching us, and I was one of the disciples. So how's that for realism? I've been to the graveside of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all the wives. Oh my goodness, guys. I walked on the Temple Mount, and I went barefooted, and I got kicked off. So I know it was holy ground. That's the way I treated it. And I was kindly kicked off with about 6 of my others. And I influenced even my tour guide to do it. And he's neither Orthodox or Karaite or anything, but he believes in Judaism. So let's see what else.
Red Heifer.
Oh my goodness. I went all the way around the Sea of Galilee where the Messiah may have walked. And went to Jaffa, where I hope I have that right. Isn't that where Jonah took off, right? I saw buildings that were thousands of years old. And I also was in Jerusalem for about 3 or 4 days. I've been down in the caves of Hezekiah, and where the water goes through. And dude, I'm still deer struck, deer in the headlights, because it was so real. Let's see, I didn't go to Aqaba. We didn't have enough time. I'm gonna have to save that for another trip. And I went with Keith Johnson. Keith Johnson and I were buddies. I got something I want to show you guys though. Hang on. A real live kosher shofar. And I don't blow it very well yet, but can you see this puppy?
Yeah.
Nice.
Real McCoy. And I have a little one too that was a gift from Michael Root. And so this thing's impressive. Hey, Keith, I had Keith break it in. So
Keith, break it in.
Yeah. He's pretty good at blowing those things.
oh, he's very, very good. It's one of his strengths, let me tell you. Let's see, I went into the Dead Sea and it is 9.5 times more salinity than the Pacific Ocean. So when people tried to go underwater, we were warned, don't open your eyes or get it in your eyes. It burns. And if you have any sores on your skin whatsoever, it just literally burns. When you walk in the Dead Sea, it absorbs all the moisture out of your skin and the oil. So when you come out and it dries, your skin's like leather. And it's supposed to be therapeutic, the mud baths that are there. And we had many people that did that. We were all a messianic group, specifically chosen by Keith. So that was pretty special. Oh my goodness. Let's see. I was in Golan Heights, right at the border of Syria. And we went along the Jordanian border. I've gone into the Jordan River and stood in it. I did not get baptized in it because it was not living water. It was a mud pool. The water is pretty much dried up in the Jordan, just like it is starting to dry up in the Euphrates. So there's quite a water famine there.
And in the Mississippi.
Yeah, well, even Lake Mead up here, I'm 50 miles north of Las Vegas. Lake Mead is almost at dead pool. That means the generator shuts down, so that's going to be interesting. Let's see. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm starting to draw a blank. It was just
red heifers.
Oh, well, not only that, but I met the individual who has the contract for making the special incense for the Temple Mount, and we saw what the formula was, and I have some of it.
Really?
So we got special meeting with these people that this guy, Yariv, knew them all. And we went to the farm where the red heifers were. We did not see the pure ones. There are 6 of them. And Isaac, who is the owner of them, we had a special kind of a confidential meeting with him. And I stood right beside him and he told us what was going on and how it's going to work. Some stuff is confidential still. But we didn't see 5 of the red heifers. Did I say that they paid $250,000 for them and got them out of Texas?
Wow.
Yeah, so they flew down, got them out of Texas, flew them back, and it was all about $250,000 for 6 of them. One of them doesn't qualify. Wow. There were some white hairs on it. It wasn't pure red heifer. But the rabbis that came and did the inspection, 5 of them qualify. They're around 6 months old. And I'm like, wow, dude. You can tell I'm still a little stunned. I can't believe the events that took place while I was in Israel for 2 weeks. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Okay, I went and looked at the tomb where Yeshua. It's a high suspect that he was there. I saw where Ron Wyatt dug over by just below Golgotha. And you can see where the signs were. They've got it all blocked off, and now it's a bus parking lot, if you can believe that. And the tomb is only 150 feet away. I thought it was far away. Oh no, it's within a good walking distance if you're going to accept the tomb. I saw the seal that is still in the tomb. It's about 7 feet high from where you stand, and I think the stone may have been 8 feet. It's not there. Let's see. I saw what they call the Holy Sepulchre that's in the Christian quarters. And I didn't go in it because I didn't believe that's where the Messiah rested. But the place was packed full of Catholic people and other religions, and I took pictures and they kicked me out. And let's see. Oh my goodness, guys. So the red heifers was a highlight, and so was the individual who makes the frankincense and the whole formula for doing the incense for the table, the altar of incense. He's got the contract for it, and he has the stuff made. The oils that they're making there, the farm's pretty big. And I learned a little bit about the politics and who gets water and who doesn't. Man, I don't know. I think Mary and I walked 50 miles. We walked back and forth in Jerusalem. We went to the Armenian quarter. We went to the Muslim quarter. We went to the Judean quarter and the Christian quarter. I bought my shofar in the Judean quarter. Urif says, come over here. I will show you where to get it. This is my friend, and they have nothing but original stuff. And I paid 500 shekels for it. And shekels are, well, when I got there, 3.1 shekels is what, $1? And when I left, it was 3.6. So that kind of lets that know. Boy, I don't know. Yeah, well, the average going one that wasn't qualified was about $250. So this gal knew Urif, and she says, I will give him a good deal, and I didn't have to pay duty tax on it or anything. Oh my goodness, guy, I spent a lot of time in Jaffa, and you could just about see, how many years has it been? Jonah, I don't know, 2,700 years. I don't know. I don't remember top of my head. I don't know. You guys have any questions? I'm just telling you, I'm still stunned. I've been at the wall, I don't know 3 times. And I talked to a lot of my Jewish brethren, and they asked me, because I bought a prayer shawl and it has all tzitzits on it. And I have a kippah, and I dressed appropriately and went to the wall. And I spoke a lot, and I saw so many Torah scrolls that are in these beautiful canisters. I don't know, dude.
Did Keith Johnson get another one?
No, he has the little bitty portable one, but he has a long one too. In fact, he did a YouTube on how to blow one, but I already know how to do it. It's just I have to get my umbra correct again, and because I used to blow a trumpet and a cornet. So I'm gonna get really good at that, and I'm gonna compete with Keith. Keith and I have become a tight friend. What a character. So I'm glad that I canceled Joel Richardson's. Joel is a charismatic Pentecostal, doesn't teach the Torah. And Keith teaches Torah and all the Hebrew root stuff, and what a blessing.
Where does Keith live normally?
In North Carolina. He lives 15 minutes from Michael Rood. And so we've been invited out there. A lot has happened since the last time I talked to you guys. I've done a movie called Off the Grid by Larry Sims. It's a documentary about living off the grid, and it's on Amazon Prime. And I actually saw it the first time this week because I didn't claim any royalties. Man, I'm telling you, I'm still affected by going to Israel because it meant so much to me.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, you're a lot quieter and calmer than you were.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I hear that we're gonna want you to teach a study group. Rocky's probably got something in mind.
Okay.
With others. What do you think, Rocky? Would he be a good speaker?
Well, absolutely.
I tell you guys, I'm still a little bit God struck. I'm sure he winked at me a few times when I was on the Temple Mount.
Get his number.
I think I left more tears there than I did shekels.
Could you say that again, Rocky?
Yeah, could Kurt put his email in the chat?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Let's see if I can. You guys have any questions? I mean,
If he wants to do it on Wednesday, if he's ready.
let's see. I'm looking. How do I do that, gentlemen? Oh, here's chat. Okay, so I just start typing email. Okay, just my name, KURTW Sutton, UTTON. The little @ button. Where's that thing out? Shift. Is that right? Oh, it's in Hebrew. Sorry. Well, you can. Why is it in Hebrew?
You want me to do it?
Did you do that, Jonathan?
No,
Have the
I
chat in
didn't
Hebrew?
do that. That's yours, man.
Your keyboard.
Kurt W. Sutton at Gmail.
Yeah, got it. I'm telling you what, I had a very humbling experience. How you spell that? Gmail, MAIL.com. COM. I tell you what, once again, I renewed my life there. It's just so real, people. I saw the walls. I walked all around the walls, the whole perimeter, because I was crazy. I saw wall sections that Solomon built. I saw wall sections during the Byzantine period. I saw wall sections that, you know, I mean, we went down below where the foundation of some of those stones are 16 feet long, 4 feet deep, and 4 feet high.
Wow.
They weigh, I mean, tonnage, and it's amazing. And of course, I went to the city of David. We went into the archaeological finds. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to tell you, I went to Shiloh. I mean, we covered it all, dude. I went to Shiloh and stood in the temple. And the archaeologist that was with me, Yariv says, you know, Kurt, right over here, you see this section 10 foot by 10 foot? That's my hole when I was 13 years old, because my aunt was in charge of the excavation at the time. And all I found, I wanted a coin so bad, all I found was fish bones and a pottery. He says, but he showed me where it was. And so I've been at all the Temple Mounts. And then we talked about going to Joshua's between Ebal and Mount Gerizim. And that was, we didn't get to spend a lot of time there.
Kurt,
I don't know.
Did you press enter on that to send
Oh,
the chat?
Thank you, brother. So I don't know what to say, guys. I'm just extremely humbled. Everything is real. It's not fake news. And
Did you get to see the altar on Ebal? Did they take you up there?
no, we didn't do that at that time. We were running out of time. The red heifers was enough. It just blew my socks off because that's what's required there. Okay, I went to the I forgot to tell you, I went to the Temple Institute. My friends, they have all the furniture done. They don't have the 10 Commandments. All that's done. The stones are even already pre-cut, how they're going to build it. There's a warehouse full of it.
Yeah.
And
Ready to go?
they have to build an altar first. So they have to sacrifice the red heifers, take the ash from the red heifers and blend it with water to purify the priests before they can do the rest of the sacrifices.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got to meet Isaac, the owner. How do you say his name in Hebrew? Isaac.
Yitzchak.
And I spent 30 minutes with him. And I'm like, dude, is this real? And he told me what they have planned and what they're going to do. And it was real big hush hush. And I'm like, wow. And I was privileged. So I don't know. Dude, sorry, guys. It's just still overwhelms me.
So did you see the menorah in the glass case out there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a rumor. It says it has 65 pounds of gold in it, but the one that's outside is a facade of where the real one is. I mean, the one they really made. There, unfortunately, while I was there, we were really close to where a jihad group came out of a cab, 4 of them, and shot one of the guards, 18-year-old girl. So it wasn't quite an alert there, but they caught 3 of the guys and 1 of them got loose. So there's still a lot of confrontation there.
Oh, yeah.
So, in fact, my friend Todd calls me up, "Are you guys okay?" Because it was on the news here. So we went in places that we shouldn't have gone. Yariv has taken us. I mean, we were in Arab towns, and we went by places where the 2 bears.
Oh, yeah.
We went by that, but we weren't allowed to get out of our transportation. We went by where Jacob, the real Bethel, where Jacob had his dream of the ladder. Just wow, guys. That's all I got to say. I mean, I hope I'm not boring you.
So 2 weeks
Think,
wasn't enough.
Prince Charles has the pillow that Jacob laid on.
Well, I've seen it. It's under the chair of the Queen's chair in Westminster Abbey.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Guy. I really don't.
So 2 weeks wasn't quite enough?
No. I was ready to move. I will tell you, I've been in the Golan Heights. Guys, it's beautiful. I mean, there are pine trees and farming and single dwelling homes on the hillside. You get in Jerusalem, there's no single dwelling. Everything is in a condo. But we remember I went during the fall feast of the Lord. We had Yom Teruah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. Oh, and I spent an evening with Yudah Glick. I sat right next to him at the table. He knows my name, and that's about it. But you know, he's on the board of the what do you call it again? My brain stopped. The Temple Institute.
Yeah.
He used to be part of the Knesset, and of course, a couple of years ago, he was shot 4 times in the chest. Keith is such a character. Keith went and bought him a flak jacket and gave it to him as a gift.
Nice.
So, and we left Yehuda Glick a gift of $12,000 to support his ministry. All of us did that, and part of his Keith's ministry.
Janice is pretty convinced he'll be helping us, and he already is actually. So it's already happening.
He can translate it all, dude. Let me tell you. And what a singer! And dude, he's big. He's about he's an inch or so taller than me. You know, he's a big man. You go to give him a bear hug like we did, and you got a hold of somebody. And what a powerful man, though. I'm telling you, his voice, he's so strong. I mean, I'm shaking talking about it.
Well, when you going back?
Let's see. Well, let's see, that trip, just to give you guys a heads up, I think is about $7,300. And I think I took $500 cash, and I came back home with $143 of it. Keith had it so set up. I will tell you, the food is off the chart. Everywhere was a buffet. And I think I gained about 5 pounds. But, you know, I almost didn't go. About a week and a half before I went, somehow I had a heat stroke or heat exhaustion. I had blood pressure 205/110. And I'm like, oh my goodness, my trip is coming. And so we got on the bowl and got a doctor that lives right around the corner from me. And we've been doing everything we can to try to balance my blood pressure. And so the whole time I was there, I had a headache, but I wasn't going to let it, you know, prevent me. And then we had a lot of healing prayer, and I believe it's kicked in because I don't have the headache like I used to. It's almost gone. And so what a blessing. I went to Israel and to the mount to get healed.
Amen.
Wow.
Hallelujah.
Well, Jenny, you've been saying a lot of stuff. Do you have questions for him?
I know, but it sounds very similar to what the tour that Michael Rood took us on
Yeah.
in 2007. Many of the very similar places.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, I forgot to tell you the midnight walk in Sodom and Gomorrah.
Well,
We
that's
walked
the
out there
time
until
to do
11.
it.
I didn't get to bring any balls back because we were too far south. And but Jenny's right. I mean, Michael took people places that is not normal as well.
Absolutely.
We got to go into a lot of military areas, which a lot of the biblical stories and landmarks, because Keith had a check mark, and every day was like spontaneous. Listen, we put in a prayer. We want to go here, here, and here tomorrow, and we put in this prayer, and boom, guys, we got it. We're going to do this. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this. And wow. So I think I want to go to Saudi Arabia next year, but Mary was uncomfortable with that because they have a real issue with women, and she's a little concerned. And I mean, I may have to take somebody with me. So we have to go.
Wonderful.
But guys, thank you for letting me share. I mean, wow.
What a blessing.
You are our blessing, brother.
Telling you.
We'll see you soon, I hope, with another
Yeah.
preparation, another presentation.
Well, I'm
And-
really hoping to kind of catch up a little bit because I have not been on the translation group for probably a month and a half. I've
Well,
got
none of us really
distracted.
have, Kurt. None of us really have. I think Jenny's going to get things rolling again, and we got another group, and so
I
don't
feel
think-
like I've missed out on some of the. I would have liked to have the results of some of the translations that you guys have done, and I know that it was such an honor to even have my name in the book that you guys first did, and I haven't earned or deserved any of that accreditation.
Oh
But
yeah,
I
you
am
did.
really greatly thankful.
You're doing fine.
So,
So, Jenny, you have any announcements along that line, or are you?
I do. Yeah. October 30th is when we start up again. Because some of us, like Eugene is away from home. I'm still away from home. And I think Matthew is too. So John Abel's group has started up again. And they're doing John 1. And our group, we're going to finish Revelation 16. And then we're going to tackle Revelation 22. And I've actually researched and translated half of it. So we're going to be done with Revelation probably by, let me see, first or second week of November. So we're getting there. Yeah. Amen.
I would like to interrupt for a second that I have restarted in the translation of Matthew. And so I've gotten up to Matthew 5. I had tremendous software and computer issues and things of that nature. Just like tonight, I didn't realize the laptop battery is the one that's really causing me some problem. That will be resolved. So I'm remotivated to finish that project as part of the team.
All right.
In John's group, we're going to be finishing up 21, the last 6 verses on Wednesday, and then we'll be going to John 1 on Thursday.
Oh, that's
All right.
okay. Thanks for the clarification.
Now you're
Awesome.
Jenny. The Armageddon was 14, right? Who's on that? That's Mike Matthew Chamberlain. Is
He
that
is.
John Abel's group or your group?
That's my group. Yeah.
Okay.
So Matthew did. Yeah, that worked.
Did you catch his his discussion on that?
I overheard that when he was there.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Well, that one's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's recorded and posted.
We have it recorded, so I'll record this one, post it on our Torah group.
I want to thank you, Jonathan, for
excellent.
giving me an email because my mind has been elsewhere for giving me a heads up on this evening broadcast because I wanted to connect with you guys.
I'll be doing it by email. So we do it every Saturday at the same time. So 7 p.m. Pacific. Please join us. Everybody, it's going to stay the same. So, all right. Well, keeping it tight as we can. I think it was worth it to have Kurt Wolf Sutton give us that report. And so I'll end this and say goodbye, everybody. Love you guys.
Shalom.
Thank you so much, guys. That's great.
Glad that we're a little congregation. So,
Thanks for letting me share, people.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Wow, what a blessing.